Hello guys and welcome to a bit of this and a bite of that. My name is Nick, this is Barking Mad Tech, and why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Edvin. I'm with I have the channel called Sneckit. So you guys know me. I've been on this podcast. You guys know who I am. Or whatever.
You're a very famous individual.
I am.
We're actually
Cause
we're actually celebrating Edwin here
yeah,
getting to over 100 subs on YouTube, which is
yeah.
it doesn't sound like a lot, but to people who I don't know have been doing this for a very short time indeed and are also
Actually have a life, unlike some of you nerds. Looking
Not
at you,
so-
Linus.
not so much have a life, but like just like really know
What the fuck we're doing?
like we don't really know what we're doing, and also we have no
Yeah.
pre-existing circumstances that would make starting something like this easier.
Basically.
Uh,
Yeah. No, that's basically it. I mean, I don't have any.
it's a pretty big milestone. So
Yeah, at least for me.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
And today we're going to be talking a bit just about what's been going on in our lives. I guess I'll start. So,
Yep.
if you happen to be a fan of the channel, which you probably aren't because I know all the fans of my channel, you might have been wondering. You might have been wondering why I haven't posted anything in a while, and it's simply because I've been incredibly busy because I've moved countries, which is a great thing to do in the middle of a global pandemic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's model citizen right there.
It's a big brain move.
Yes.
Can't help but think of it as anything but. But
Yeah, where'd you move?
I moved from Sweden to Greece, where I'm currently residing in a little town called Platanias on the island of Crete.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
It's a pretty nice place. Never been, but it's pretty nice.
it is quite beautiful, I will say that, and things are starting to open up. They're gradually reducing lockdown measures, so there's
That's awesome.
cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've basically been packing. I've been sorting out all my papers. So yeah, that's why I've been silent for what, like 3 months.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so that's pretty much been that. Now I am in Crete. I'm starting to get settled. So hopefully I'll be able to start producing some sort of content.
Yeah.
In the near future, probably not in the same vein I used to because I don't really have access to like the camera equipment or the
Yeah.
really just like the computer components stuff. I don't really have access to that down here
Yeah, it's gonna be different
for sure.
things to come.
But hopefully I'll be able to figure something out.
Hopefully we'll be able to do more podcast episodes. Really.
Absolutely, that should be something we should be able to do at least semi-regularly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what's been going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working full time recently. Last 3 months, I've been working a lot, so I haven't had time to do anything. Yu-Gi-Oh has been pretty much dead because of Corona. But I have started playing. I mean, I play for a team now. I do some retro Yu-Gi-Oh content. You might have seen some of my deck profiles that I've been posting. Maybe not you particularly, but some of my subscribers have. Well, that's been going over pretty well. And so I'm going to be continuing doing that. And there's a 100 sub special coming on. And I'm doing a collab with a sort of famous Yu-Gi-Oh! GOAT format YouTuber, which tells you nothing, I guess. But it's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, hopefully look out for that. It's going to be pretty fun. And I'm also probably moving soon during the fall to a different city, at least, to study. But to study what? I don't exactly know yet.
Cool, very
Yeah.
cool.
It's going to be fun. All right, so how warm is it in Greece right now?
Right now, today it's actually a bit chiller than it has been for the past few weeks. So right now it's about 25 degrees where I'm at. Earlier today it was about 28, which was the highest it reached today.
Yeah, so it is like 13, so it's been a pretty on and off day. Right now it's raining, but before that it was a bit sunny, and then yeah, it's back and forth.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
That's just Swedish weather in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, a few days ago it reached 36 degrees, so that was pretty rough in the middle of
That's pretty warm.
But this talk of moving is actually leading us into the main topic of discussion.
Oh yeah.
For today's episode, I would say, which is mobile PC gaming.
Yeah, something that That's been going on for a while, I guess, but it has never been. Well, it's never really realized its full potential, I guess.
No, always been some limits, but we're talking about just generally because, generally
Yeah,
speaking, the mobile gaming market has been dominated by Nintendo. Let's not pretend anything else. You know,
yeah.
people people buy a Nintendo DS or a DS
Game
Plus,
Boy or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, or more recently a Switch or a Switch Lite.
yeah. And I
Um,
mean that has been. Sony did some interesting stuff with the PSP, but that didn't turn out too well. So
Yeah,
it's
like the PSP and like I maintain that the PS Vita is the single greatest handheld of all time, and it's just
yeah, it's just that
underappreciated.
there's no games on it and
Yeah,
stuff. I mean,
there's a few
that's the,
really good ones, but like the catalog is so limited that there's no point in
yeah.
owning one really.
The thing is with mobile gaming is that it's usual or gaming on the go because mobile gaming sounds like cell phone gaming, but
Yeah,
traditional mobile gaming on a console has been dominated by children. I mean, children are the ones
yeah,
who are really into that, and so usually the limiting factor is not really. I mean, usually they don't choose a or a console based on what the best thing is, rather what their friends have and what they want to play.
yeah,
Like if they want
exactly.
to play Pokemon, they're gonna get a Nintendo console.
Yeah, exactly. And like,
Yeah.
there's no shame in that. Like,
Nah.
it's just like there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying that. But like for someone like me, who's never been a huge Nintendo fan, like not even when I
Yeah.
was a kid, it's just never been where I gravitated,
Yeah.
and and B, who's just like absolutely spoiled by high refresh rate gaming and like
Oh yeah.
decent resolutions and stuff that I can't really
Yeah.
force myself to go down to that level. Not sound elitist, but I really can't. I really can't play
Yeah.
around with the peasants anymore. And
Oh, I get flashbacks to 2015. That talk. Oh my god. We used to be a friend when we were in like what middle school through like when we were from 13 to 16, went to school together. We were all PC gamers in our class, right? Except for one guy who had an Xbox. Dude, we were dunk on it so much. Oh my god, we were such assholes.
yeah, exactly. So,
But yeah,
but so for
absolutely.
me, I found out basically I was moving for
Yeah,
countries. I couldn't just like get a Switch.
yeah,
And like I'd gotten rid of my PS4, so that wasn't really an option. I considered for a while bringing my little Mini ITX gaming PC, but there would just be a hassle.
yeah.
In the end, it's just like a hassle to pack, a hassle to get a monitor down. Like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, and it's like if you know that you're going to be staying in the same place all the time, then maybe it's fine. But it's also nice, like in some cities, like let's say I'm going to move to the capital of Sweden, Stockholm. Like there's the housing market there is really shit. So let's say I only have about 6 months in an apartment before I had to move. Like, am I really going to bring a desktop? It makes no sense.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
therefore, like a laptop is like much more sensible in
Yeah.
that kind of
So,
situation.
so that's what I ended up doing because you
Yeah,
get like you don't have to bring a monitor, you don't have to bring a keyboard. You can just kind of get it and you have an all-in-one package. Like there is an argument for gaming laptops. It's just like generally speaking, if you're staying in one place, you just generally don't.
yeah, and that's been the thing. When I started out gaming on PC, I had a laptop. It wasn't a game one, but I had a laptop. Had I spent that money on a like desktop instead, I would have had a much better deal. But it's like so for my situation, there it would just make more sense to have a desktop as it has been for the rest of my life because I've been like living at home, right? But now if I'm gonna move and get my own place, I mean, it makes more sense to have a laptop to also be able to do like university work and stuff on as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point, getting a decent laptop might be the most sensible choice.
Yeah, so that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah.
I already had the Medion sort of like general purpose laptop, which I've talked about a bit before.
Yeah, that's the one with the i7, right?
No, it's an i5, but it's a 4 core
Oh yeah,
it's a 4 core 8 thread
yeah.
i5, so it's pretty
Okay.
decent.
Yeah.
Um, but like that does everything I needed to
Yeah.
for that purposes, but it does not have a graphics card. And if you're gonna
Yeah.
game, you need a graphics card. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna because I'm gonna be gone for 6 months to a year. I'm not gonna go 6 months to a year without playing any video games.
Yeah.
So I decided to look into gaming laptops. What can I buy? So I ended up settling on a Lenovo Legion Y510 something.
Yeah.
Spec-wise, it's got 16 gigs of RAM. It's got an i5 9300H, which is a 4-core 8-thread. Which,
Mm.
yeah, it's not a 6-core, but it's still fine. Like
Yeah. And the graphics card was
it's an RTX 2060. and 512 gigabytes of SSD storage.
I mean, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, like it's I got an external SSD and an external hard drive, so I have plenty of storage as well.
Yeah.
Because it has a USB 3.1 port, so it's there's no speed penalty to external storage.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it does. I've been playing around with it. Obviously, I haven't had much time to game since I've been moving and stuff, but I have played some Red Dead Redemption 2. I've played some Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Oh yeah.
Everything's been working swimmingly. I haven't had any issues. It plays, my optimized settings. It plays Red Dead 2 at, anywhere between, usually stays around 60 to 70 FPS. Sometimes it drops down into the 50s at worst, which, for me, for a game like RDR2, is perfectly playable still.
Okay. Yeah.
And the best part is it does have a 144 hertz screen. So.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing about recent gaming laptops is that 120 hertz / 144 hertz is becoming standard on like the 1,000 to 1,500 range like laptops, which is really nice because that's been something I'm missing before when I've considered getting a laptop. It's just not having that high refresh rate really kills your performance. Like if you're a competitive like FPS player like I am, it just kills your chances of full competing really.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, but yeah, that's great. How do you feel like the RTX 2060? Is it performing any worse than a desktop one? Like,
with any laptop, you're gonna run into like just because of the form factor. A even if it's a desktop 2060, I'm using air quotes. You can't see, but I am.
Yeah.
Even if it's a desktop 2060, it's not gonna be as good simply because of heat and airflow reasons in a laptop. But if I had to, I don't have any scientific data on this, but if I had to draw a direct comparison to an actual desktop card, I would put it somewhere close to probably like somewhere between the 1070 Ti and a Vega 56.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. So it's doing very well. It does get a bit hot, but I have a laptop cooling pad thingy, which does okay.
So that's sort of a must now, right? Like, if you're gonna get a gaming laptop, you sort of have to have one of those.
I don't know if it's necessary. It's just something I'm more comfortable with, because I am planning on reselling this machine once I move back.
Oh, okay. To keep it nice and cool, so it doesn't get damaged.
I want it to be, long lasting and stuff, just for the longevity of the machine. I prefer it to have one. But I will say the way it's constructed, because generally with a gaming laptop, you find that once you start gaming real hard, the keyboard gets pretty toasty.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that Lenovo's done a very nice job of keeping all the heat producing parts away from where, generally speaking, your hands are on the keyboard. So the
it's just on the right side, like.
Yeah, the WASD keys never get warm. It's just generally way further to the right where that stuff gets toasty, so it's always comfortable to play on it. It gets a bit loud because that's just what gaming laptops do, but it's it's not the noise doesn't really have that annoying high pitched character. So it's,
where it's the ball bearing fans and everything is
it's more like an air conditioner.
Yeah, that's nice. It's because I was thinking about the whole laptop, WASD getting warm. You might have troubles reselling that computer in Siberia, but otherwise you're going to be pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's roughly been what I've been looking at as well. I mean, you can get a 1650 laptop with a 120Hz screen and an Art Radeon 5 for 8,000 crowns for the cheapest. Like the Asus TUF series are really cheap.
They are. I have a thing about this. And it's when it comes to gaming laptops, right?
Yeah.
I generally just spend more because it's worth it. Because a 1650 laptop, a 1650 is not a great card to begin with in the desktop version, and then you add in the fact that it's in a laptop. You're not gonna have a very good time gaming on anything except the most basic games, really. So I think maybe at least go for a laptop with a 1660, which shouldn't be that much more expensive, I think, because there's this thing with gaming laptops where they're really even the cheap ones are pretty expensive for what you get to, and at that point it just makes a bit more sense to save up a bit more and spend a bit more.
Yeah, the best buy right now is you can get a 2060. The cheapest ones are 13,000 crowns. Yeah, so that's roughly 1,300 euros. And that's pretty good.
Yeah, I paid about 13,000 for this one, which that is a lot of money. No one get me wrong, that is a lot of money. But considering laptops and how much they cost, especially gaming laptops.
Yeah, the prices generally has gone down in terms of performance, what you're getting.
Yeah.
Which is real nice.
Yeah, so it's just considering the entire situation of laptops, then I'm quite happy with that purchase.
Yeah.
I'm quite comfortable spending that amount of money. Obviously, it is a lot of money, and like I didn't do it like nonchalantly, but like
Yeah.
I had to make a judgment based on I'm going to be gone for 6 months. I want to be able to game comfortably.
Yeah.
Especially with new games coming out this year, like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 and Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
So it's just it made sense to me to spend that much.
I mean, it does, doesn't it? And it's like, at that point, like you can do what I did and just get a cheap ThinkPad. I mean, I brought, I think I talked about it a little bit, how I brought it with me on a trip to the US, and it had the 8-hour battery attachment. So I got it used for like 1,500 crowns, roughly 150 euros, a little bit less. And basically, I just took an Xbox controller because it had Bluetooth, and I played Fallout 3 on it on the lowest settings at 60 FPS during the entire trip. And I had to charge it like twice for a week, which is like insane. But that was like really fun. It was a pretty smart move, because like usually I like playing those older games anyway on my laptops. But let's say I want to play like Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Like, and then
you wouldn't do that on your ThinkPad. You just wouldn't.
No. It just wouldn't work. And at that point, like it makes sense to get a decent laptop for that, like a desktop replacement almost.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the sweet spot. Like those are the two types of reasons to get a laptop: is you need a desktop replacement. Let's say you're moving a lot, or you need to bring it to university with you, or like you go to a lot of LAN parties and you don't want a desktop for like.
Yeah, or just you're moving countries and you can't really
Exactly.
you don't really have the logistical capability to bring like a whole ass fucking computer and a monitor setup.
Or let's say you have your parents are divorced or whatever, or you need to switch. Like, at some situations, a gaming laptop is the ones that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where you have to make the judgment, because all these years I've been going to LAN parties as well with like full desktops.
Yeah, same. That's what I've always done. I've never found it to be like, it is a hassle, but it's not like that much of a hassle.
Yeah.
This is like sorry.
No, and yeah, I think I did like last week, or this weekend. We'd have a long weekend this week in Sweden because of Kristi Himmelfärd. I don't know what that is in English, but basically, Jesus man, Jesus God person,
don't say that
up to heaven.
Monetized, bro.
Oh wow, Jesus God person. Religious character. Insert any variable here. Yeah, and it's like he went to heaven, therefore we get an extra day off, yada yada yada, which was real nice. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me more time to game. So I brought my Optiplex, my XPS computer and a cheap BenQ monitor that I overclocked to 77 hertz and whatnot. And it just struck me that even though this is a small computer with everything like with it, it still sort of sucks to game on. Like, it's still a good PC, but the monitor is too small to see anything in Counter-Strike. Yeah, I've overclocked it, but the resolution is terrible. I could have brought a bigger monitor, but then it would just be a hassle to bring. Like, the main goal for me with the LAN setup is being able to carry everything in one walk from the car to the place you're gonna game.
Yeah, if that's the philosophy you have in terms of LAN parties, then a gaming laptop makes perfect sense.
Yeah, like, and that's the point. You don't need really a small laptop. You need a desktop replacement. More or less.
I find that mine is 15.6 inches, which I feel is it is a bit small in terms of playing a video game, but you get used to it.
Yeah, and then with a high resolution, it looks pretty good as well.
Yeah, so you could get I find that 17 inches, they're a bit more comfortable to game on because you have those extra 2 inches.
Yeah.
Of screen size, but they generally charge so much for those 2 extra inches.
Yeah,
it just doesn't become worth it. So I find that and also they do become a bit of a hassle to carry around because most laptop bags you find generally don't support 17.6.
So you're trying to study in the library, whipping out a 17-inch laptop isn't really.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You can do it, but it's smart.
Yeah, so I think a 15.6 is a pretty good sweet spot for size.
Yeah, another option is. Why you would want to game a laptop is really, I mean, if you would, let's say you live in a rough neighborhood, whatever, and you feel like there's a chance that someone might actually go inside my house, steal my stuff. Having a laptop that you can take with you is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense most of the time. So if you're on the go, I mean, getting a laptop makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like you think about it, you look at it, it's pretty pricey, but it's like you pay for a desktop. You can pay any really level ones you want. And like, let's be honest, 8,000 crowns for a like I'm looking at a laptop here, GTX 1650, 120 hertz screen, 256 gigabyte SSD for 8,000 crowns. That's roughly 800 euros. That's competitive with a pre-built.
Yeah,
with
that's
all
true.
those features involved.
Yeah, with a better comparable set.
With the monitor as well. So like, at that point, So it like, maybe if you built it on your own, it would be cheaper, but like not much really.
Yeah, when you get into that low end, it just sort of like the prices really even out with pre-builds versus custom builds. When you get into like the higher end stuff, where it just kind of
it's you can find the sweet spot sort of around the 2060 range, like from around 8,000 crowns through I don't know, like 15,000, so around 800 euros to 1,500 euros. Yeah. That's usually when you find the best deals, I feel like.
Yeah.
And also laptops very often go on sale if you look at the correct sites.
That's true. That's like they're one of the highest, like, because when you think about it, like laptops outsell desktop, like even pre-built desktops and especially custom-built desktop components.
Oh my god!
Like the magnitude by which laptops outsell desktop and desktop components. It's an insane, like, because like when you're in the enthusiast space, you're often talking about desktops and desktop components. So it's natural. You kind of think of that as the standard PC, but like no, for most people, a computer is a laptop.
Yeah, absolutely.
The majority of people in the world, like when you say I want to buy a computer, they go in looking for a laptop. They don't go in looking for like even a Dell tower. They don't go in looking for that. They go in looking for like a fucking laptop to watch Netflix on or something.
Yeah, and that's understandable. And I mean that was the natural progression. Even like 7 years ago when I was starting to get into gaming, I was like, I'm looking at a computer for like 8,000 crowns. I remember posting on a forum, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna be able to get a pretty good one if you build it yourself. And I was like, can you build a laptop for yourself? And they were like, oh, you're gonna get a laptop? Good luck, bro. And it's like, yeah, I mean, even back then, people were thinking laptops as your standard computer, no matter what you were going to do with it, because everyone had moved past desktops. No one really saw why a desktop would be even like remotely good anymore.
Yeah, so that's why like laptops, they go on sale a lot more than components or desktop pre-builds. Yeah. Like, you can generally, like, I will say this, you're generally going to have a better experience on a custom-built desktop than on a laptop, generally speaking.
Oh, yeah.
But like, if you're in a situation where it warrants a laptop, I wouldn't shy away from looking at them because you can find some pretty decent deals still, especially now. It's the gap has narrowed in terms of price.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's I think that's the thing. You really have to look at it from that angle where it's like, yeah, it's different. I mean, you still have to see that the average person is not looking for a high, like the best bang for their buck, really. Even then, like they're just looking for what's the cheapest computer that sort of looks okay in this price point that I have set. Okay, get that.
Yeah.
They don't care about performance, really. They will get that late. I mean, they will just buy a new one when they need one. When they notice it becomes slow, when grandma has been forwarding too many emails, or you've been downloading too many toolbars, like at that point, just get a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, oh, Windows are so slow. Get Apple.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that's the standard one, but whatever. But yeah, I think one of the most hilarious things about it is the fact that what's it called? The smartphones are sort of replacing laptops now.
That's true.
For most families.
And I am extremely unhappy about this development.
Yeah, and most adults get their laptops through work because they need one for their work. But like on their own, they just get like an iPad, like a tablet, or a smartphone.
Yeah.
And then they spend way too much money on that instead.
Yeah, I'm just...
holy shit. Oh, God, we've had this discussion before on the podcast, so let's not get stuck there.
No, I will. Listen, no, it's a bit of a different flavor of that same discussion, though. It's a bit of a different flavor. Because it's not about people unnecessarily spending a shit ton of money on expensive mobile features they don't need. It's about how much I hate doing anything on a smartphone or a tablet.
Shit, my knife just broke. I was playing with my fake butterfly knife and it broke.
As one does.
As one does. Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, it's about how much I hate doing anything on a mobile device. Because... I'm just like, if I can do something, I would much rather work with a laptop in basically any situation. People are like, oh, I answer emails on my phone. It's like, I'd much rather answer emails on my laptop. I'm
Yes.
watching Netflix. I'd much rather watch Netflix on my laptop. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
there's nothing phones, like, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing phones are good for is fucking calling and texting people. I'm like,
Yeah, like that's the thing. I barely use my phone. Like I use it for social media. I have
yeah,
not played any games or used no. I looked at my dad's phone. Like I have like maybe 20 apps total. Most of them already pre-installed, and the rest of them are just apps that I need. Like you have your banking stuff and everything.
yeah.
But I looked at my dad's thing, and he's like got a bazillion different apps, like
It's like,
follow
what?
flight paths across Albania. I'm like,
It's like,
bro,
I
what
can
are
just,
you?
it's like, because like, yeah, exactly. Like you have your Snapchat, your Instagram, whatever, Twitter maybe, I guess. But then like
Yeah,
anything that requires like yeah, I used to take pictures, you got your online bank, stuff
yeah.
like that. But like anything that actually requires any like even moderate amount of effort is just so much more comfortable to do on a computer. It's not even funny. It's like
Yeah, and I agree. It's like, and I think that's really the thing is that most people at this point are sort of intimidated by using computers.
yeah, maybe.
There's like something about it. They're just so used to using a smartphone all the time that let's say you only have a moderate, like you have no interest in tech whatsoever. The only tech you use is your phone. And you have sort of become accustomed to that, sending funny memes to your coworkers, going on Facebook. So you sort of understand how to do that. But you don't do that on your computer because you never use it apart from work. And so, well, if I can do it on my smartphone, I'm more secure in using my smartphone than on my PC. Yeah, do
Yeah,
that. But the thing is, it's completely different from us because we're pretty sufficient or efficient with both of those platforms.
yeah,
And at the same time, we know which platform is better to do it with. So anything like taking a picture, better on a phone.
yeah.
Easy. You would never get your laptop out and like open up the webcam or whatever.
No,
Makes no
exactly.
sense. But scrolling Twitter, yeah, do it on a phone.
Mm.
But if you're gonna listen to music, yeah, arguably do it on a phone as well. But if you're gonna be watching movies, playing games, do it on a laptop. Sending emails, do it on a laptop.
Yeah, like
Writing something,
bigger
do it on a
screen.
laptop.
You don't have to fucking hold it all the time, like specifically for watching movies and stuff. Like you can actually sit it down on a table or something without like having to lean it on something. Like it's just like I don't know. There's so many ways in which just content is better on a computer than it is on a phone. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a development I'm profoundly unhappy with, but I am pretty convinced that in a few decades the computers as such will be a thing of the past.
Yeah, sort of. It will be exclusively for like enthusiasts.
Yeah.
I think that will be like there will be most households will go back from having a computer for every person to having one computer for the gamer kid and one for the dad or mom who works in like with and has to have a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Everyone else will have a smartphone. That's
Yeah.
just
But you know what's funny to me though, because we've looked at like the new iPad for example, right?
yep.
And they're adding like keyboard and mouse support.
Oh yeah.
And
It's like
like
that point.
at this point you're just turning the tablet into a fucking laptop. So just get a laptop. Like stop.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and the thing is, I work with kids, right? So I work in the teaching space, and it's sort of, I don't know, it makes sense that I mean, for the kids when they whip out their laps, they all get a iPad now in school. They use even from a young age, like usually first or second grade. But they are using it for stuff where it makes more sense. It's easier for them to use an iPad just because it's more intuitive to click on the screen than to have to use a keyboard and mouse. However, what that means is that whenever you tell them to use a laptop or an actual computer, they have no idea what they're doing. They have never, basically, some of those kids have never used computer before. It was like when we were kids, we had to learn it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we knew how to do it. But at the same time, there was shit that our parents learned when they were kids, like using a VCR. I would have no idea what to do as a kid, whereas my parents probably would have understood. Like, it's always going to be some sort of evolution in technology. But I think it's sad to see it being dumbed down in a sense.
I agree.
Yeah, it was just like, because when you're getting into an actual workspace, like when you're going out into the workforce, you're going to have to learn how to use a computer. Like any serious work will have to use a computer. You're an engineer, boom, you're gonna need to use a computer. Like it's sort of a serious thing, and
Like,
I think that's Go ahead. Go on.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think at some point we're gonna hit like especially with how the limitations we're already running into technologically with silicon as the material for, like, the semiconductor for processing units. There's going to be, at some point, we're just going to reach a point where we just physically can't fit the performance needed to do something into the form factor needed for a phone, like to whether it's convenient to have a phone in that form factor. Like, at some point we're going to run into that limit, regardless of we're using silicon or some other fucking semiconducting material, right?
Yeah.
So it just feels, I don't understand this. I don't understand the trajectory. I don't understand why we're on this trajectory we are, where computers are becoming more and more subservient in terms of functionality to phones, because it just seems like maybe that's me being a boomer, but like as far as I'm concerned, it's just like I don't see I don't see what utility the phone has in professional, in terms of like serious like work.
Except for being like a phone.
Take pictures, text, call, and like social media. Like, what else?
Yeah, that's it. I really can't think of anything else where I wouldn't prefer in a professional setting to use a computer for it.
The same thing with like higher resolution screens on phones, right? Like, why? They're so small you can't tell the fucking difference. Like, it's not like legit. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna hot take right here.
Yeah.
We could have stopped at the iPhone 4 and no one would have complained.
That's maybe stretching it.
Nope. I stand by it.
I personally think that at the iPhone 4 you can still see the pixels. But I think actually this is one of the few areas where Apple are starting really to make sense, because their Retina thing, whereas like the average that at that point it makes sense, because you have average.
Let's say the iPhone 6 then. We could have stopped at the iPhone 6 in 2014, and I don't think anyone would have been too.
That's more reasonable. Yeah.
In terms of like technology level and what they can do, because like you show me an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 7 side by side, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason I could tell an iPhone 11 from an iPhone 7 is that the fucking camera situation. Like, like they're so similar, and no one's even comparing like an Apple phone, a top tier Apple phone to a top tier Samsung phone, they're so similar. Like, no one's doing anything different. So like, we've already hit a point of stagnation. I don't understand why everyone's pushing for more stagnation, essentially. Just like to unite all the branches of home computing into one little stagnated package. I don't see the need for it. I don't understand why it's happening, but I do think it is happening, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, it's all. I don't know. The thing is, I think there's. I mean, of course, you have to have technological progress, but I do agree with the fact that maybe you don't need to go as ham as they had in the last years with having 15,000 crown or 1,500 euro like phones. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's they don't. It just surprises me that there hasn't been like a crash yet, like there was with the video game crash with the Atari, where it was too much money for too little.
Yeah, it was like this entire thing of upgrading your phone every year. Like, I don't understand. Like, no, why? Why the especially when the differences are so incremental.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why we need a guest, hint on our podcast, to come tell us why we're so wrong about this.
Yeah.
So if you think that it makes perfect sense for there to be 1,500 euro smartphones for the average rich kid who wants to flex, I mean, go ahead, come on a podcast. We really want to hear why you think it's necessary.
Yeah, like just generally, just like I'm gonna just explain the necessity of the development that we've gone in terms of the consolidation of everything into some sort of like phone/tablet.
Yeah.
Zeitgeist, let's say.
Yeah, it's all really weird.
Because we're old and we're very confused.
Oh yeah. We're sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, listen here, Jack. How do I send PDF?
Pretty much, like, no, bro. I've actually had this experience. Let me tell you something. Trying to attach an image to an email sent from your iPhone is like legitimately not trivial.
Yeah. No, it's an actual thing, and now I think that's at that point you're sort of understanding how the boomers feel.
Yeah, like
when they're opening up their laptops.
I've never felt older in my life than trying to email someone a picture from my iPhone. It just couldn't fucking be done.
Yeah, no, it's like And at that point, it's like you're sitting there like, am I just stupid, or is technology? It's the technology that is
Yeah,
wrong. Like, come on.
yeah. But it's
Yeah,
like
and I think
we've gone. It's just no, but like the entire just to go slightly off topic into, but like it's related.
we've
It's
gone
like
very off topic now. We were supposed to talk about gaming laptops. Now we're talking about why smartphones suck.
okay, but like one thing, like okay, so remember like right now the trend is like you upgrade your phone once a year basically
Yeah.
because that's when the new phone comes out. But, like remember back in the day you upgrade your phone like even back in the day we're talking like 2010 to 2015, right? You upgrade your
Yeah.
phone like every third or fourth year, right?
Yeah.
And that was a time when the differences between each generation of phone were much greater.
Oh yeah,
Like
they were very noticeable.
yeah, exactly. And you still kept it longer, but we've gone to the point where we have our phones for a short amount of time, and the changes are much like microscopical in terms
Yeah.
of like the differences between each generations. And
Yeah.
that paradigm is just something I can't wrap my head around. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, I agree. It's sort of like that's the thing, and it would be equivalent to always switching out your like PC every time there's a new release. Like
Yeah,
let's say, and it's just madness. You don't do it. Most people can sit on the same graphics card for 3 years. Why can't you sit on the same smartphone? Really, I don't get it.
yeah,
And like it's sort of a big thing, and I'm just thinking, and what another aspect of this is how much waste it produces. Like how is the environment supposed to survive this if we keep upgrading every year and we throw away all these super expensive like stuff that still works? It just boggles my mind.
yeah.
But I mean, it's like any expensive thing, really. It's like getting a new car every year or whatever. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just like one
yeah.
of those things where I don't
It's
know.
beyond us. I think it's
Yeah.
it's far beyond what we don't understand it, mainly because I don't think we share the mindset with the
No.
people like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like at some point it just hits a point where I just can't say anything, but that's ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. Back on topic. Gaming laptops, you have anything to add?
Oh yeah, gaming laptops. No, I mean I think it's pretty obvious what we're going to talk about. I mean, really, what makes them another thing aspect of gaming laptops is the mice that you had to use for them.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, do you use wired mouse with your gaming laptop?
Right now, yes.
Yes. Would you do it if you had to? If you knowing you were like going to a LAN party, would you bring a thing like that, or going to a university or whatever?
Interesting. I think
Yeah. Because yeah, go ahead.
if I was in like a lecture at university or something, I would probably not bring a mouse at all. I would probably just use the trackpad.
Trackpad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like when you're bringing along your laptop, because I have this old Razer Orochi from 2013. This was my first gaming mouse. I still have it. It still works actually, really nice. I mean, it's wireless, which is pretty cool. But you can really notice how far wireless things have wireless gaming mice in particular have progressed. If you look at this, how laggy this thing is, like you can definitely feel the difference in the input between this one and like an actual like really good wired mouse. But nowadays with like the Pro G wireless and whatnot, like Logitech, I mean,
Yeah.
those things are insanely good.
Yeah. The mouse I'm using is actually I could actually use it wirelessly
Oh yeah.
if I wanted to. I'm using a Corsair Ironclaw RGB wireless. I'm
Okay.
using it in its wide mode currently because I forgot to bring the little dongle thing with me from Sweden.
All right. Okay. Wow. Just order one.
But like it's just like and like Corsair has got the slipstream technology thingy for its wireless stuff, which is also very good. So at this point, it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference. Like just a few years back, it was a massive one. Now it's not so much.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the thing. You can actually be competitive with a wireless mouse nowadays as long as you have a decent one, which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
like a far cry from like only 5 years ago
Yeah.
when that shit was cancerous. Pretty much, you could not use a wireless mouse
Yeah,
for gaming.
pretty much. Like it's not
Yeah.
like, and that was a fact even for non-competitive gaming. Like even for like someone like me who's playing mostly RPGs and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't use a wireless mouse back then because it was fucking awful.
Yeah, you can like see the difference when you move it, and then suddenly, and like a second later, it will move on the screen. Like,
Yeah,
it was not a good thing.
it wasn't a good time.
Yeah, and I think that's something that has been like really like progress in these years have been amazing with how far we've gone to having a wireless mouse feel exactly the same like a wired mouse, which is really cool. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and then the added benefit of them making wireless or wired mouse like lighter and lighter all the time. Like my glorious Model O is like 68 grams or whatever, which is really, really light. And that also is a really good thing if you're like going somewhere and you can bring a mouse mat along. Like, yeah, pretty easy. So I don't know. You always, and then you have the really weird ones where they try to make a gaming console out of PC hardware and software. Like, remember the WPD Win?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. This thing, where it's like
Share the screen. Share the screen.
Oh, yeah, let me see if I can. What was it called? Was it called WPD? I don't know. Windows Gaming console. Let's see here if I can find it. The Win PD, maybe? This here. GPD Win. That was the name. The GPD Win. You have the. We're gonna be able to put one up like on the.
Yeah, I'll add one in.
Yeah. Let's see here. One of these bad boys. Where it's basically it's almost like a gaming BlackBerry, sort of with the looks.
Yeah.
And it was it's like sort of like remember the was it the Tesla? No, what were it called? The Nvidia Shield.
Oh yeah.
Sort of the same idea.
Tablet thingy.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh god. The Nvidia Shield.
But this one has Windows.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
The Nvidia Shield naming situation is a mess.
Because Nvidia Shield is...
Because you had like the little console thingy majiggy.
Yep.
It was called the Shield, and then you had the Shield tablet, and then you had like the Shield Android
TV
thing. Yeah. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah. And now they've basically realized, okay, so this thing is basically non-usable for gaming. So nowadays they just call it the best media streaming device. Like, come on.
I will say though, what's that program there? Like the game streaming program that the Nvidia has. That's kind of like the Google, similar to the Google one, which I can't remember the name of either.
Google Stadia. Yeah. It was sort of similar to that one, but it actually sort of worked. But it wasn't good. Like,
wasn't it? I thought it worked fairly well.
It worked okay. It's GeForce Now.
Right, that's the.
But it works fine, but it's not. Like, it's better to do it locally.
Yeah, I mean that's a given, but like I think it worked better than Google Stadia worked because Google Stadia was a bit of shit, if I've been understanding correctly.
Yeah, Google Stadia. I didn't have too much look at the situation, but it seemed like it was an absolute disaster.
Yes.
I just can't be bothered going into gaming drama anymore. It's always something, and all the epic gamers trademark are always upset about something.
Yeah, it's just like that's true. I get
tired.
Yeah, my thinking is just I don't know. Like in terms of the streaming thing, right? Like game streaming, I don't think we're ever going to reach a point where it's actually as good as, never mind better than local gaming.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible because when you add in that component, like there's always going to be input lag, and it's always going to be at some perceptible to some measure, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to reach the point. I mean, I might be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. I just don't think we're going to reach that point ever.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, as nanometers are going down as well with the processing, with our processors, I mean, we're going to hit a point where because the thing is, the smaller nanometer you make a product, like a processor, the higher chance of it failing becomes. And at some point, we're going to get to a point where it's like a 50% failure rate or whatever. And it's going to be a really, really bad time for most companies making processors. And at that point, I mean, yeah, you could maybe have like more efficient processors doing your calculations, but you might not have the gaming laptops are still going to be far behind desktop alternative. And I don't know, it's unless someone figures out a new way to cool laptops more efficiently, I think we're basically like dead, and or where it's not going to get much better. And then another thing, laptops, they have a rating, I think it's watt hour. You're only allowed to have a certain amount, so you physically can't you're not allowed by law to, for example, bring, I think it's over 95 watt-hour batteries. You can't bring them on planes.
Yeah, exactly. Like you run into a limit, and no one's gonna make a laptop you can't bring with you on a plane.
Yeah. So at that point, gaming PC makers, like I know Alienware, for example, hit that limit, and they're like, even though we could make the battery bigger, we're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Because it would be illegal, and so no one would buy it. And I mean, at that point, I don't know. It just feels like it would be. We're getting into stuff like, what are the laws surrounding this? Which is ridiculous for gaming PCs.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's a bit of a. I think we'll have to see how the technology progresses in general. I think. Because we are approaching the end of silicon as a viable semiconductor. We are approaching that. Like it's actually quite crazy. We're down to 7 nanometers. I think from what I've been reading, we can possibly get down to the absolute max 1.5 nanometers as a process.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the absolute max I've seen. I don't think anyone thinks we can go any smaller with silicon. And like like the way things are going, we're only a few years away from that, because like the next generation AMD processor, they're going to be 5 nanometers.
Yeah.
So like we're already over 7.
Yeah, we're closing in, and I think the thing is, at that point, hopefully, quantum computing is going to take off more and more. But I mean, because that shit's still getting developed more and more all the time, and I think that's what companies are realizing. At some point, we're not going to be able to do the indefinite growth anymore, and at that point, shit, we got to get something else, and that's where quantum computing comes in. I think.
Yeah, I think in the end, I think the conclusion has to be that it's pretty much impossible to make any sort of accurate predictions in this market, because we just
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's constantly changing.
Yeah, it's really hard to pin down any sort of consistent. Like you can examine the past and see how that goes, but then something completely unexpected happens and it throws everything off.
Yeah, and I think that's really like a problem with coming up with it. You never know how it's gonna go, and suddenly you're sitting there like, take JF physics cards. That shit was awesome, but
physics by a G.
But who cares?
No one cares. It was the future, Edwin.
Yeah, it was the future.
NVIDIA physics, almost the same thing.
NVIDIA, buying up stuff and changing the name slightly and keeping the name but changing the concepts ever so slightly.
Name a more iconic duo.
Yeah, it's
It's classic. Yeah, I think we're approaching the end of the podcast here.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up. What games have you been playing lately? Let's end it there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been playing some Counter-Strike. Been getting back into that bit. It's pretty fun. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've been playing mostly the wingman mode, so it's two versus two instead. But
I've not played a single game of CS:GO since it went free to play.
Oh wow, really? Yeah, no, it's basically, everyone who paid for it has what's called prime matchmaking. So you're like still end up being like you're still a premium user compared to the free to play scrubs.
Yeah, you wouldn't
You wouldn't. You don't. I personally haven't seen any problem with hackers for the paid part of the game, at least. And then I've been playing some Call of Duty, both the new one, so Modern Warfare. I haven't played Warzone though, the Fortnite version.
People have been telling me to download it, so I think I will, because I just give it a try.
Yeah, it seems pretty fun. I just haven't tried it yet. And then I've been playing Black Ops 2. Actually, it was on sale on Steam for a couple days ago, and I bought it. And then I played.
That's a good one.
And Doom Eternal as well. Doom Eternal was pretty good. I played through the campaign once, but I don't know if I'm going to play it much more.
I was going to get that, but then I ended up moving, right? And it's like, I dread downloading a game of that size on this internet speed. Like,
then you're going to dread downloading Modern Warfare, like the new one, is 200 gigabytes.
Oh, Christ in heaven. Like, okay, so the Wi-Fi I'm on right now is pretty fast by Greek standards, right? But we're talking 40 megabit up and down.
Yeah. I mean, it's doable, but damn.
It's just start it off when you leave for work, I guess. I guess that would be
Yeah, and then when you come back, maybe it's done.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, so what have you been playing? Is it the new Bannerlord or whatever it's called?
I've been playing quite a bit. Obviously, as I said before, I've been quite busy.
Yeah.
But when I have gotten time to play, I've played Bannerlord a lot. Yeah. Because I'm enjoying that one immensely. I've been playing Red Dead 2 again, because that's just one of those games where I just kind of go back every few weeks,
Oh yeah.
play around a bit. One of my favorites of all time. And then I've also been playing a bit of Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, that's the one for 2014, right?
Yeah, precisely.
Nice.
I'm thinking of just doing like a full-on series replay through in preparation of the new Dragon Age game, which should come out next year.
Okay, awesome.
And then I've also been planning on doing a Mass Effect trilogy playthrough, because I'm not playing Andromeda again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
I guess it.
Yeah, there's been pretty good year for gaming, at least so far. Not for the rest of the world, but there's been
Yeah,
a lot of fun stuff released and a lot of
yeah,
fun stuff to play.
And we're looking at some new exciting releases. We're looking at Cyberpunk, obviously. That's a big one.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's hyped to fuck about that one. We're looking at Crusader Kings 3. I'm personally extremely excited about that one as well.
Yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and the new Assassin's Creed, the Viking one.
Oh yeah,
Released
where they
recently.
gave like a male, really badass Viking a woman's name. I don't remember. Was it Ingeborg or something? I think.
Something like that.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
I don't
funny
know.
for us
Like, it's one of those games. Like, Assassin's Creed is one of those franchises. Like, I will eventually end up buying every single game. But like,
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't care. It's just one of those things. Like, I don't know. It's almost mechanical. I see the game, I click add to cart, and then I buy it.
And then it's like, oopsie.
Oops! Now I have an Assassin's Creed game again.
Yeah. Also, I've been playing Uno. Uno's pretty fun. Uno on Uplay.
No,
So-
you.
Bruh. All right.
Bruh.
Well, that's gonna round off the
Yeah.
podcast for today.
That is it for us. Please tune in whenever we do this again. hopefully,
hopefully.
in a few weeks.
Yep.
Or
See you
even
guys.
or even a few days. We don't know. Okay.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.